Hey there and welcome back to Don't Open That Door. Come along with our triumvirate of terror as we descend into darkness, hurtle into horror, and plunge into peril. If you've ever had sex with someone in a clown costume, you're in the right place. I'm Justin, and I float through the air with the greatest of ease.
I'm Nico, and I'm nickel dumb, which is like Pennywise, but worse.
Well, I'm Dan, and I'm always down to clown.
And we are here today to review Killer Klowns from Outer Space. This was directed by Stephen Chiodo, starring Grant Kramer as Mike, Suzanne Snyder as Debbie, John Allen Nelson as Dave, Peter Legacy as Paul, and Michael Siegel as Rich. So we open in the town of Crescent Cove, where a bunch of teens are up at a local makeout point when they see a mysterious comet come down from the sky. Intrigued, one of the couples, Mike and Debbie, go to investigate. They don't find a comet, but they do encounter a massive circus tent. They enter and they find its nature to be labyrinthine. And they also stumble across a room where humans are encased in cotton candy cocoons. To make matters worse, the pair are attacked by a gruesome creature that looks like a clown. They do manage to escape, but the clowns, yeah, there's more than one, give chase. Dan, I think you should give chase to what I've just said. What happens?
Well, Debbie and Mike flee to a local police station where Debbie's ex, Dave, happens to be a cop. The couple relate their story to Dave, along with Dave's hating-ass coworker, but their story is a tough one to swallow, understandably. Dave takes Debbie home, then heads out with Mike to confirm the story. Well, as luck would have it, the circus tent is gone. So Dave handcuffs Mike and puts him in the police cruiser.
Nico, while that's happening, I know there's something else that has to be going on.
Yeah, in fact, the clowns are on the attack! So you see, there were a bunch of clowns in that big top, and they go and invade Crescent Cove, killing a fair number of the citizenry and encasing some of them in the weird cotton candy cocoons that Mike and Debbie saw earlier. Dave and Mike then head to the local lookout point where the teens are all gone, and only that strange cotton candy remains there. Dave finally begins to believe Mike, and pair head back to town where they witness one of the clowns unleash some arcane fucking sorcery as he makes a shadow puppet eat a group of people like it's an Acme cartoon.
Well, I'm big into Acme. And also, Dave and Mike, after seeing this horrendous thing, decide to split up. Well, Mike's not really alone because he always has his friends.
And the power of Jesus Christ.
Hey. So he invites Rich and Paul, two lovable losers who are just trying to sell ice cream and get laid, but they're currently failing at both. The trio then heads back to Debbie's place to make sure she's okay, but they're too late as she's being kidnapped by the clowns. The trio pursues the clowns, but ultimately get into a fender bender with Dave, who joins the crew, and our fantastic foursome now chase the clowns back to an amusement park. Where else would a clown be? For more on that, we go for our local clown on the scene, Dan. What's really going on?
The group enter the big top, but are quickly assaulted by the clowns and get split up. Dave and Mike see that the clowns wrap people up in cotton candy to use them as food, as we see one of the clowns drink one of the people through a silly straw. And so they rescue the hell out of Debbie. Then they try to escape, but are attacked by a mass of clowns until Rich and Paul drive their ice cream truck into the big top, giving them all a way out. Just then, a gigantic fucking clown descends from the big top, and it grabs Dave. Luckily, Dave knows the clown's weaknesses, and he pops the gigantic clown's nose, killing it, and causing the circus tent to explode. The movie ends with our heroes wondering if the threat of the clown is over when they all get pied in the face. From the circus tent explosion, The end.
All right, well, there's actually not a lot to talk about, but I still say we dive into it. So, first off, how's this movie look? I'll go ahead and take off here. So, the Chiodos are kind of known for their special effects, although they didn't apparently do a ton of the special effects in this movie. I think the major thing they're noted for is the big clown scene at the end in the big top. But regardless, I think it's good. I think the clowns look really gruesome, and I'm glad it wasn't no kind of like CG shit. The practical effects, I think they're cheesy, but they're cheesy in a good way. Like they're intended to be that way. And I don't know. I got a kick out of seeing things like the balloon animal dog hunting down people and the popcorn turning into little clowns. That gave me a kick personally. But Nico, what'd you think of the visuals?
I definitely agree with the way you describe it as gruesome looking because it's not, for anyone who hasn't seen this, it is not like your regular run-of-the-mill clowns. Like, they look real fucked up and almost like they're out of Ed, Ed, and Eddie, but in real life, if that makes any kind of sense.
It does, yeah.
But I honestly thought this movie looked fucking great. Like, it's a treat to see these silly bulking buffoons just lumbering about, killing people in the most absurd ways possible. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Dan, what did you think of the way it looked?
I completely agree. I love the visuals. I think the clowns look great. The special effects looked hilarious. I think like sometimes they were really good and sometimes they were bad, but when they were bad, they were like purposely kind of cheesy, you know, like you could tell they did it over the top and everything. And I love the visuals. Like Nico said, they were a lot of fun.
Well, I think it's time we stopped clowning around and got right down to the audio. And Dan, I mean, I know you have a lot to say about this.
You do?
I guess so.
I mean, I love the music. The music is great. The intro song fucking kicks ass.
It's great, unironically.
Or whatever. Like, I fucking love that. There was a ton of just fun musical pieces in the movie. The sound effects were great too. I thought the audio was just good. Good time.
Nico, let me hear your thoughts on what you heard.
I don't have too much to add, honestly, except for the fact that this now holds the place as the movie with the most number of times where they use a motif of anything I've ever seen in my entire goddamn life.
Yep.
All right. Well, you know, sometimes the best place to start is the end. And I'm going to have to say we're starting with the end on this one. So our heroes, the main heroes at least, Mike, Dave, and I guess they're Cher and Debbie now, they all get pied in the face. And we saw before in an earlier scene, the clowns like pied this one dude a bunch of times. And I don't know what was in those pies, but it like disintegrated dude and left him literally just bones. So is there a chance that that's like acidic pie that'll kill our heroes, do you think?
Yeah, I like to think that they're dead.
Oh,
They're probably not, but I like to think that they are. I don't know.
Fair. Nico, your thoughts?
I think I'm about to make a wild comparison here. Shock and awe. We just watched and reviewed Aliens, and I'm finding a surprising number of similarities between these two movies. Sans motherhood themes, but like we've got the pie, we've got the fucking acid blood.
I don't know if that's a similarity. Okay.
It has like the same effects.
It's acid.
Yeah, but one is obviously more whipped cream looking than the other. But we've got that. We've got these cotton candy cocoon creating corruption, conniption clowns. There's your alliteration for the hour.
Oh.
And we've got the fucking queen creating these cocoons and impregnating people, or not impregnating, but like doing the whatever the fuck little parasite thing, Parasite Eve, whatever the shit. It's a salient comparison. Don't fucking doubt me. How dare you?
Listen, dear audience, just so you know, peek behind the curtain. We're actually legitimately recording this during October, and I had to restrain myself from shouting out like, it's a Parasite Eve, whenever Nico did that. But carry on, Dan. I know you're about to say something.
What does that have to do with October?
I just like that song Parasite Eve, and I feel really
And it's October.
It is October. Yep, you're right. What was the question?
Well, Dan, calendar confusion to the side. You were about to make a callous comment.
Oh, right. I'm all here for a wild boy reference, wild boy analogy. I feel like some of those are stretches. I mean, there's acid in a lot of movies.
Yeah, okay,
know.
that's fair.
I mean, I'm here for it, but I don't know.
I demand to live this down immediately.
Well, I need a yes or no, Nico. Face melted off or no?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm inclined to agree. I think that would kind of make it almost nihilistic is not the right word, but it certainly would be very, very, very bleak. If at the end of it all, just to describe it, the only people who actually saw the clowns and got away with it just melted.
Ended up dying in an acidic white miasma of cream.
We'll talk more on that later. Bonus episode. So I want to know now, there are two characters in this movie that aren't really talked about all that often by us because we haven't talked about them at all yet. But Rich and Paul.
Method Man and Red Man. Oh.
No, these are like the turbo downgraded version of Method Man and Red Man.
Red Man, Raggy?
So Rich and Paul, it's kind of their quest throughout the movie to somehow use ice cream not only to make money, but also to get laid, which I'm not going to lie is kind of funny. But like they show up at the local makeout point playing ice cream songs and they're like, let's all get laid and eat ice cream. And I'm like, I'm not necessarily opposed to this suggestion.
I would get ice cream, bro.
I would get ice cream.
I would probably get ice cream if I'm honest.
I'd be like, hey, why not? Why not? So maybe they're, you know what? They were just too far ahead of their time.
What would you really do for a Klondike bar, motherfucker?
Oh, shit. Well, the real question is, what did those clowns do to them? Because Rich and Paul kind of wind up in this weird space when they get separated. And there's like, I guess some female clowns. And we don't see what happens. But they show up with all these kiss marks on their faces. And they're fine, though. They're okay. They're alive.
They're better than okay, I'd say.
Yeah. So are we just to assume they just got a little freaky with the clowns, or what's going on here?
I think that was the
Killer
end
clown coitus
of their story arc. Oh, that's a good one too.
Oh,
I just think it's like finish the story arc. They got a happy ending.
yeah.
Quite literally.
Yep.
Well, all right. I guess nothing else to say about that. So
Lots of deep thoughts here tonight, folks.
We got our talking points and we're like, do you think that? Yes, I think so. Okay, well, next one.
Peek behind the screen. We normally organize these in a much more analytical way, but now one of the talking points is, hey, did these guys fuck some clowns? And it turns out, dear listeners, yes, they did.
I want to point out, dear listener, the last movie we reviewed before this was Aliens, which is like double the length of this movie and perhaps 10 times deeper on a thematic level.
Mm-hmm.
So we're struggling here, but we'll get it out. Don't worry. So I also got to ask, do you think that the main characters made good decisions in this? And by that, I mean, oftentimes when we watch horror movies, we see people running away when we're like, no, don't run that way. Or as our podcast is named, don't open that door. Or doing just generally dumb things. But I don't know if I see that in this movie. How do you think the characters acted? Was it rational? Or do you think they still carry the dumb ball for horror movies?
I'd say they were relatively rational. I mean, I think there's a couple like small decisions, but okay, maybe I wouldn't do that, but I could see them doing that. Some of the more peripheral characters, I think, made dumb decisions. But yeah, I think our main trio, I guess, Dave, Debbie, and Mike, all made pretty decent decisions.
All right. I would have to agree. I do think the trio made pretty good decisions. I don't know if I would stop getting it in to go investigate an asteroid or comet falling.
I would. Well, okay.
You would?
Stop
Okay.
getting it in? Probably not, but they weren't getting it in.
Okay, true.
See, that would be playing the long game because you could get it in now.
Oh, and then
Well, what I'm trying to say is you get it in now, but then she's, you might not later. But if you go to explore the comet, you might not get it in now, but you might get it in multiple times later. You're building that social rank.
From clowns?
no one knows about the clowns yet.
I mean, if you're the two dudes, then yeah.
Yeah, fair.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
What's his face's fucking coworker though?
I was literally about to ask you this,
Oh,
Nico.
yeah.
I'm going to ask you to turn now to Officer
Mooney.
And this dude is convinced that the world is out to get him. How did you feel about that, man?
He felt like the villain in a Saturday morning cartoon or like in some sort of weird cereal ad where it's like, I can't let nobody have no fun, no way, no how, and everyone's out there to get me, and I'm just tired of these wrestling kids out in these streets, and it's just... I know it's already a very silly movie, and I'm not saying that I didn't appreciate the just sheer dumbassery that was this character, because I did, but it is also just a little ridiculous to be like, yeah, the entire town hates me in particular, when no, that's farthest from the point possible. He does die, though, and he's absolutely a fuck and gets what he deserves, so that's good.
All right. Now, I want to ask really quick, just generally about the clowns. How would you describe them? Are they just evil as fuck? Is that just how they are, you think? Or do you think they are having fun? Like, what do you think about their actions and behaviors? Like, are they sadistic, do you think?
I wouldn't quite go so far as to say sadistic, but I think maybe like a touch of it, because they do kind of like play with their victims a little bit.
They do.
But not like a ton. But one thing that is thrown out in the movie is that they posit the theory that maybe the clowns are there to like feed. It's just like a pit stop for them to, get more food and then continue on.
Right.
I kind of feel like that's true. Like they take all these people and they obviously like put them in the cocoons to feed on them. Then I feel like they were probably just going to pick up and leave after a certain amount of time and continue on their way.
Yeah, I do agree that it's a refueling stop because I think they were getting ready to leave once trouble broke out. I think they were just like, yeah, let's dip. Let's get out of here. But Nico, you agree with that? Do you think the clouds are some chaotic evil motherfuckers or what's good?
Yeah, no, I definitely think they're chaotic evil, but they're just a lot of fun. And they obviously don't have any sort of remorse about them, but that's what makes this such a delightful movie. It would be a little bit off kilter if suddenly one of these mangly looking motherfuckers just gained a conscience.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I guess kind of last thing before we get to our closing parts here, but kind of a two-parter. What was your favorite clown action? So, for example, like the balloon animal or the shadow puppet. And what was your favorite scene? Could be the same, really.
I think my favorite clown action was the balloon animal. I thought that was really clever. They're chasing after Mike and Debbie at the beginning, and they make a balloon dog, and the dog is like kind of alive and like chases them down, hunts them down. And I thought that was really cool. And like the whole movie, I loved seeing what kind of clown antics they would come up with. And I thought that was super creative. My favorite scene was either that or when Officer Mooney gets like controlled by the clown for a second. I just thought that was a lot of really good acting and like his facial expressions and everything I thought was really cool. He was actually one of my favorite characters, like dumb as he was later on and everything. I really liked the actor. I thought he did a fantastic job.
Yeah. Nico, you got a favorite act of clownery? Favorite scene?
My favorite act of clownery is one that comes with a revelation from one of our discussions earlier pre-recording. So early on in the movie, the clowns have these, I guess they're shooting these cannons or these guns at our trio of heroes. And Dan, what was it that we theorized that is they're actually shooting?
The popcorn guns you're talking about, right?
Yeah, the popcorn guns. But ...
Yeah, so later on, the popcorn is like a creature or something, and they start like moving around, and then you see that they become like clowns. So I'm pretty sure that popcorn is like clown babies.
Clown nut.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess you just wanted to go there, huh?
It went there for me. I'm just marking the way, man.
Okay, well, now we're here. Yes.
Unfortunately, though. Yeah, that's my... To call it favorite is a stretch, but most memorable clown moment. That's not my favorite scene, though. I think my favorite scene is just the ending where it's almost like a little mini kaiju battle when dude is fighting off the big-ass clown who just pops his nose.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
That was pretty good. My favorite scene, Dan, you took mine already, which was the control of the officer, Officer Mooney, because that was kind of dark, too, in a way.
Yeah.
Because you see the clown pull his hand out from like his back, his spine, and that's like, oh shit, that's kind of crazy. So that was my favorite scene. But my favorite act of clownery is probably the shadow puppet shit. Because
That was real good.
the clown's doing all these shadow puppets, and there's this little crowd, and they're like, oh wow, that's so nice. And then he makes like a T-Rex, and the T-Rex as the shadow just eats everyone. I was like, oh shit. And I don't know if you saw, but he feeds the people to the popcorn.
Yeah.
Like, oh nah, man. So I fuck with that. But now I want to ask you guys about a what would you do? This is a little bit different than I think you might expect. But
Okay.
this movie has had sequels talked about and stuck in production hell for a while. I've heard ideas for a sequel film and maybe even a sequel series or TV. So I'll ask you, if you were going to make a sequel, first off, would it be a TV series or a movie? And where would you take it? What would you do?
I would do a movie, maybe a couple movies if, if it gets there, but a movie, I don't think there would be enough of a solid plot to follow for a like TV show kind of thing.
Right.
So I would do a movie quick, like, this movie was less than an hour and a half and, something like that, in and out, just a lot of fun. I think I would do I would either do just like another place where the clowns touch down and then just kind of the same kind of stuff, but just like slasher movies. How it's like kind of the same, but the fun of it is seeing the different kills and whatever. I would kind of do something like that. Or maybe even if there's enough sequels, like the third movie, like people actually like go on the spaceship, like in space with the clowns.
They meet up with the vampire lord from the first Vampire D movie.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the planet of the vampires. Then there's going to be a planet of like the killer clowns and then planet of everything. I don't know what else.
The clowns definitely harm people with violence, though.
They do.
Nico, are you going for a TV series or a movie here?
I think I'm going to pull two balls out of left field here and first go like video game or some sort of like, I don't know, maybe like a Gashapon slots shuffle series.
Okay.
Wow.
Konami employee.
Yeah, exactly right. And I think it would make for a really interesting line of household appliances. Get you a killer clown microwave.
Okay. How about the clown beater?
The clown beater?
To whip up some eggs?
Yeah. You get the clown toaster, the closter.
Oh.
I guess the thing we're really missing here is the clown cotton candy machine, which would probably be the most obvious.
Clown cotton candy cooker.
Yeah, something like that. So
the killer clown cotton candy cocoon cooker. Capiche?
Okay.
the irony is we're mixing K and C sounds, which apparently can still have the same sound.
Apparently. Allegedly.
There's nothing ironic about that. That's not what irony is. Oh my God.
So for me, I kind of have a vision, right? Where first off, it's, modern style, young adult. So, you have like
One Tree Hill killer clown from outer space.
the chicks just all bad, but it's like a real dark reimagining. So the chicks are all bad and gothic and the dudes are all just like ripped out of their minds for no reason. What up, girl? I'm in high school. Bro, you're like 35. So there's that. And then like the clowns, first off, are all sexy now. They just got like clown makeup and stuff on, but they got like, they still clowns though.
All right.
But-
So when you said young adult, I thought you meant like Harry Potter. Clearly,
no.
this is not Harry Potter territory.
Nah, bro.
This is a different kind of adult.
Yeah. So like, I meant like actual adults. So like, you got that, and then the clown is over here just like, again, they mad attractive, but it's still clowns though, and the features can become demonic. So at first maybe the clowns invite people to the big top. Okay, bet, and then they have fun, but it's all just a plot. And maybe one of the girls actually maybe gets one of the clowns to admit he has emotions inside. I don't know, bro, but like, trust me, the kills would be fantastic, bro. This would be a short-lived series on HBO, on Max, not HBO, on Max, and I would be cast myself as I'm probably the.
You would be both Rich and Paul. Don't even fucking front.
Actually, Nico, I could see me and you being Rich and Paul.
Yeah.
Just flashbacks. Justin, man, what's going on, bro? What are we really trying to do? Hey, you trying to like sell ice cream and get laid, like maybe simultaneously?
Side quest of the year, bro. Let's go.
So we'll see about that. So with that intelligent diatribe out of the way, I gotta ask, where do you think this movie ranks on Rotten Tomatoes from critics?
Okay. I have no fucking idea.
Well, I'm going to say 82.
Okay.
69? I don't know. That's silly. This movie's silly.
So, this movie actually has a 77% from critics on Rotten
okay.
Tomatoes. Dan, take your crown for the day.
I will.
But the real question is, what do you guys think about this film?
I think this movie is a ton of fun. It is an absolute blast from start to finish in more ways than one, and it is just truly some of the silliest shit I've seen in a long time, and I really appreciate that. Again, after what was a master's level thesis of Aliens, this is like a worksheet from civics class that you definitely copied from your smarter friend who was paying more attention, if that makes any kind of sense. I'm gonna give this a 75.
Okay. I feel you there. Dan, where's this in the circus rankings for you?
Well, I had a blast watching this movie. This was probably the most fun I've had watching a movie in a while. I loved watching all the clown antics and to see what they were coming up with next or what weird clown contraption they had. I laughed a lot. It was a blast. I'm going to give it a 92.
Whoa.
Wow.
So, I'm going to give this one an 83. And my thought process behind it is similar to Dan's. I had a ton of fun watching this movie. I actually haven't seen this movie in so long. I forgot how this movie actually goes and everything else like that. So watching it was pretty much kind of like fresh almost. And it was really fun. I loved the ingenuity. And honestly, I feel like sometimes when you watch a lot of really serious horror movies, it does you good to watch just a dumb fun one every now and again.
Hard agree.
And I think this was a good choice to just kind of break up some of the more serious movies, especially having reviewed Aliens last week, where I'm over here talking about like motherhood and the corporate system. And I'm like, damn, can I just watch some clowns like fuck some people up? So yeah, good choice, Nico, because Nico was the one who elected for us to watch this movie. So
no, it was
solid
Dan.
picking there, sir. What's that?
It was definitely
Dan.
me.
You know what? Sometimes in life, we got to give the others the assist. So I'm glad that I could tee that up for Dan. So
Wait, for me?
I guess what we're really coming out here with is this a recommendation from the pod?
Yeah,
Hard yes for
wholeheartedly.
me.
Absolutely. Now, question here. Is this going to get the golden seal, though?
Not for me, but I would recommend it for Magical.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
Question for you. Because I don't think we've ever had this situation before. Would you consider... I don't think there were any major studios behind this. It had a budget of $1.8 million. and it was distributed by Trans World Entertainment, which is defined as a independent production and distribution company. So are we considering this an indie flick? Because I don't know if 2 million basically back in the 80s is like too much, or because the Friday movies were sometimes made on right around that amount, I think.
I'm gonna say no, but it's damn close for the diamond in the rough. But definite yes to magical.
Yeah, I'd agree it's magical.
Yeah.
So
Hell yeah.
that's the new official magical sound, fresh
Excellent,
off the
excellent.
press. And so this movie is in fact magical. So yeah, it is wild. You'll find something to laugh at. I guarantee it. If you don't laugh at this, you have no soul. So if you agree or disagree or just want to clown around, you can find us on social media. We're on Twitter /X and Instagram at DOTD Horror. We're also on Facebook. That is Don't Open That Door. Plus, you can check out everything we've done on our website, which is dotdhorror.com. But till then, maybe recommend us to a friend. Keep yourself safe. And as always, dear listener, don't open that door. Bye.